Hello everybody, it's Catherine from Jayne Catherine on Books, and this is January's book haul, and it's a small book haul. And from what I was saying when I was looking at my aims and goals for 2019, I'm not going to be buying massive book hauls unless they're for a specific readathon, or if I do, then I've got to read them. I've tasked myself with reading them within 6 months. And also I'm just buying, if I've read some amazing reads on my Kindle and I've really loved them, they've been high ratings, then I want to collect a hard copy of it. So without further ado, here's the few I've got for January. Now the first one is called Buster's Diary. This is by as told by Roy Hattersley, and this was sent to me by Kerry Ann, so Women versus Books, and we send each other a book every month. We do a book swap every month, and this looks cute. Look at that dog on there. Now Roy Hattersley, for those of you outside of the UK, was a British politician. I don't know if he's died. No, I think he's still alive. But he was in the British government, and there was a big hoo-ha, shall we say, 1996, there was a big hoo-ha, because he got this dog, his beloved dog, Buster, and there was a great big, we could say a great big bust-up, great big bust-up, because he was in St James's Park, out walking in St James's Park in London, and he was attacked by a goose, and of course, dogs aren't just going to stand there and not retaliate. And there was a big hoo-ha because in the UK, geese that are in London in the parks and swans all over the UK belong to the Crown. They belong to the Queen, and it is actually against the law to willfully kill a swan. So yeah. So this is Buster's story in a way. Buster's Diaries is a heartwarming story. I know Kerry Ann, she'd already read this over the Christmas period, and yeah, I think that'll be a lovely little book, and we'll look into that further. Yes, but there was a bit of a furore over this, so yeah. We'll see what that brings. Then next, I've been waiting for this for a while, and it was on a special offer in W.H. Smith, Dear Mrs. Bird. That's a lovely cover. And this is a historical fiction, so we're in London, 1941. And we've got Emmeline Lake, and she decides she's going to be a lady war correspondent, which, you know, back in those days, it was very difficult for women in the workplace anyway, and especially to go in what was considered as male-dominated professions, which, you know, sort of newspaper correspondent, that sort of thing, journalist was. So she finds herself there. They think she's there just to be a typist for this woman called Henrietta Bird, and she is a well-known agony aunt. She's in the magazine Woman's Friend, and she's the agony aunt, and so obviously she's done very well to get there. We used to have one in the UK called Marjorie Proops. Don't know if you remember Marjorie Proops. And you know, going back to when I was growing up, Marjorie Proops, it was very much the advice that was often offered was very how can we put it, wasn't always seen as unbiased. So we used to say, oh yes, we'll have to, Dear Marjorie Proops. So I don't know much more about that, but I've liked the look of that for a while. It's been on my radar, and yeah, I thought I'd get that while that was on offer. W.H. Smith, it's buy a book, get one for £1 at the minute, so yeah, well, why not? The next one which is to go to the series that David and I are reading, Bruno, Chief of Police in France, and this is by Martin Walker. This particular one is Death Undercover, and I can't even remember how many books we've read now of this. I don't remember. we're a good way down. This must be about 7 or 8, I think, something like that. And we're just really into this series. We love it. I mean, this is a lovely cover. Look at this. It's quintessential old French street. That is. We you know, we've been to France quite a lot, and we've had some lovely times over in different parts of France. And this is, it's getting a bit more international. It started off very much a bit more than a cosy crime, but it started off in the village of Saint Denis, and we've actually been to Saint Denis. But there's 2. I think the one we've been to is in the north, further north. There's one further south where he lives in, nearer Provence. We haven't been down that side to stay anyway. And it was all about the goings on in the village, and there'd been a murder and that sort of thing. And it's very interesting to find out about the French system of policing, because they have so many different divisions, and then each village has its own, like, chief of police, which Bruno is. So this is just another one in that it's becoming more and more gritty, more and more grisly at times, more and more internationally led than just Bruno in his little village and telling people off for stealing truffles. But we're really enjoying that, so give that series a good try. He's actually born in the UK, lives in France. A non-fiction book that I got called Bound, the Travelling Bookbinder. And this is, as you know, I've just filmed my first craft show and tell, and been talking about bookbinding, etc. in there. We've never done it before. So yeah, this is a beautifully illustrated book, very easy to step-by-step guide on different types of bookbinding. So that'll be a useful catalogue. And next, this was on offer, so I got it while I could. The Eve of Man, Giovanna and Tom Fletcher. As you know, I read this for the publishers before it came out on NetGalley. Absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars. Wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. It's dystopian. We've got Eve, our main character, who's 16, and she is the last girl on Earth. So she was the last girl born for the past 16 years, and so, you know, the society is on the verge of really becoming extinct, because there were no females to actually procreate and make more girl babies. So she's been cosseted in this ivory tower for most of her life, and they've been choosing suitable male suitors, shall we say, to decide who's going to get the honour of producing, hopefully, a girl baby, so that the race can continue. And everything isn't all as it seems. Loved it. I can't wait for the next instalment. Wanted to wait till it came out on paperback, in paperback should I say. I mean, it's got glorious, look at that. Look at that. Bit like a magpie drawn to a bit of razzle dazzle, and it's got, you know, you can see that through. So yeah, wanted to have a hard copy of that. And then the last one is The Snow Child. I've read this quite some while ago, by Eowyn Ivey, and there is another one that's out by Eowyn Ivey, and I can't think what it's called now, but I haven't got it. I want to read it. I loved this. Again, another one I wasn't expecting to like. This was another 5 stars for me. Very much magical realism, but just heartwarming family story. The thoughts and feelings of a couple that have not been able to have their own children, and then one day this little girl appears mysteriously, and they take her in and rear her as her own. But obviously that isn't all as it seems, but gives them a lot of joy. It's quite an emotional book. Very, very cleverly done. Very interesting, very cleverly done. Again, way out my comfort zone, and I absolutely loved it. So that's The Snow Child. So there we go, that's my book haul for January. Hope there's something in there that you've not seen before and you've liked the look of, or let me know if you've read any of those and if you too love them like me. The ones I've read anyway, and we'll see what Buster gets up to. We might do a bit of a wrap up on Buster's Diaries, and I'll read into that a bit more and see if Buster's still alive. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.